Good morning, and welcome back to the Perky Collar Radio Show on WDRB Media. Today's guest is Jim DeBetta, CEO and founder of We Know Business. Jim, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Excellent, Jim. Thank you so much for joining us. And you have a very busy schedule.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Happy to share what I know.
Excellent. We appreciate that. So, you know a lot, and obviously we can't cover it all in 15 minutes, but let's get started with your most recent business and kind of why you started the business.
All right, well, I started this business more as an outgrowth of a business that I started years ago in the sport optics industry. I was importing binoculars and telescopes and handheld magnifiers, and after I ran that business for nearly 10 years and decided to take a break from it, I felt like I wanted to help other people do what I did, but to avoid all the mistakes, financially, time-wise, and for them to hopefully have, more successes without having to go through, all the mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs make when they don't know really what they're doing when they start a business, especially when they're younger. So, I felt that by getting into this, kind of consultative side of the business, that, I've been able to help a lot of inventors and startups and entrepreneurs, do what I do, but again, to avoid, all the time and money issues that, come along with doing it on your own.
Okay. And what would you say is the biggest mistake people make when they start their own business or want to become an entrepreneur?
I would say that, one of the biggest mistakes is that people don't realize how much time it takes. And I think a lot of people give up too soon. I don't know what the numbers are, stats are on how many people, fall out of business in the first year. But I think a lot of people don't realize that they have to stay in it. And it takes, a lot longer than they think it's going to take to, start making money. In the beginning, you're sort of stroking checks, you're paying bills, but you're not getting income. And a lot of people get frustrated and they give up when they really do have a good business or a good idea. Mm-hmm. But when they give up too soon, then, they're not able to see it through. And I think a lot of those businesses could do well if they were just able to, get past the frustrations and, the early months, the first 6 to 9 months of the business.
And is there a certain common denominator that you find yourself recommending for people? Like I know a lot of people have told me to find a mentor that's been there, done that. What would you say is your number one recommendation to people that are starting their own businesses, besides be patient and hang in there, because that's a big one? Everyone wants to get rich quick and overnight, and they watch Shark Tank and think these are overnight sensations. And in fact, they've been grinding for 3 to 5 or 10 years a lot of times, and they're finally made it. So is there any advice you can give them early on in the game to kind of help speed up the process or help them achieve greater success than not doing this advice?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is a lot of people, like you said, they'll watch shows like Shark Tank, and they see the end result. They see somebody go on TV, get a deal, and they think, it just started yesterday, and then tomorrow they're making money. But yes, most of the time there's been years of struggles along the way. I think what a lot of people do is they, maybe they've been successful in a corporate job or some other business, and then when they say get into the product business, they feel like, well, they can do this too, and they don't reach out and seek advice from people who have done it, like say how you've done it with Perky Collar.
Right.
And instead of reaching out to people like you or like me, they go it alone, and then they find that they don't do as well, or it takes longer. And instead of cutting the curve and just talking to people or working with people who have done it or do it regularly, pride gets in the way, and so they tend to fail more than they succeed. So yes, the biggest thing would be to seek out people who have already gone down that road and take their advice. They're going to usually advise you on successful, not how to fail. So I think that's a huge point.
Sure. Now, I think one of the hardest things I found was to find a mentor. So for me,